Here's a nice piece of kit for a generator technician. This is a scope. It's an E-scope, 8 channels. You have pressure transducer inputs on it, mounted to a surface tablet. You don't have to get the tablet. You can get it just mount. You can just get the oscilloscope alone. This it's called the tailpipe sensor. It comes in their engine analyzer package, but you can buy it separate. And basically, it's a water column gauge. It measures in inches of water. It can go up to like 40 inches of water, but it's very accurate from 0 to 25. Extremely accurate, extremely responsive. The sample rate, along with the sample rate of the scope, makes it a great tool for generator diagnostics. And you can look over a long period of time, so you can run the engine for hours and just have this strip roll chart and actually just watch the and just see any dropouts in pressure. There's different ways I can do it. So I can do a record. I can record the sample here. There it is up there. That's me kind of blowing on it a little just to measure it. I can stop the scope. I could have other channels in here like throttle position and stuff. I could measure the O2 sensor, to see I'm going lean, and is it due to my fuel pressure dropping? That's the nice thing about scopes, is you can have multiple channels and compare one signal to another and kind of correlate it and say, okay, this is happening because of this. The multiple channels is one of the best features. When you have a multimeter, you're reading one data point at one particular time, and the sample rate of a multimeter is very slow. So the voltage, you may read 12 volts, right? But it could drop out real quick, and if the sample rate on your multimeter is not up there, it's not going to catch that glitch. This will. I mean, we're talking in microseconds, that the resolution. And then we can zoom in and look at one spot just by doing that. We can bring in cursors and measure the time and peaks versus other things. We can overlay cylinders and fire in order. Say, okay, when this particular cylinder is firing, so let's just say I did this. It was a 4-cylinder engine, and I marked the cylinders there. We could say, okay, cylinder 2 here is dropping out. So when cylinder 2 fires or something, whatever. Many use cases. I'm not going to go down there. But basically, this to measure fuel pressure in a generator is a great tool. One of the biggest things, they say like 90% of the problems, they say this in training, it's always fuel pressure. In an automobile, you have a fuel pump set at an exact pressure. That engine's been tuned to work on that pressure, and unless that component fails, you're good to go. In generators, we have a problem where, first of all, the generator could be either set to natural gas or propane from the factory. The fuel piping to the generator has a lot to do with it, whether they ran the pipe if it's too long of a run. If it's too long of a run with too small of a pipe, you've got to increase the size of the pipe for, in relation to the length of the run. 90s in certain areas right after the regulators can cause turbulence. Regulators, whatever regulator they decide to use, if they put the regulator too close, you can have a problem. So every setup introduces more, vulnerability in the system, where we have to figure out, hey, why is this not running good? Is the gas meter too small? So that's one of the difficulties of the trade. And when you're saying it's fuel pressure, and whoever did the gas piping, no one likes to be told that, oh, your work is causing this. And it's not really their work. It's basically the piping is done great. It's just this generator does not sync well with the piping that you ran. It's just, you could do it the same way on a different generator and it might run perfectly. So having a pressure transducer that is accurate, that you can monitor the pressure over a long set of time, record it, and compare it to other other data points, really helps. So glad to have this. This is, it hooks up to a phono jack. So they made it really easy to use. And like I said, I've measured it against a slack tube gauge, which that's, if you really want to know, for calibration, a slack tube manometer is also another very valuable kit when you just want to know that your readings are correct. So I calibrate this against a slack tube manometer, and it's spot on. I mean, like very accurate. I mean, I can zoom in and actually see, to a high resolution and see, oh, I'm 3.2 inches of water column right there. So just thought I'd make a quick video on that. The tailpipe sensor water column gauge from Automotive Test Solutions.